The disappearance of Susan Powell in December 2009 sent shockwaves through the quiet community of West Valley City, Utah. This gripping episode delves into the chilling case that captivated the nation, exploring the tragic events that unfolded within the Powell family. Susan Powell, a young mother of two, vanished without a trace. Her disappearance sparked a massive search effort, but despite the tireless efforts of law enforcement, no trace of her could be found.
There's somebody out the hospital then with Brenda. They'll interview Brenda. They'll interview
I think
Sydney. Because they were talking to Sydney was just laying there. It was clear shock.
You saw all those cars?
Yeah.
Cars that are out there. So the protocol is, and I can't tell you this happened because I wasn't there, but I'm sure what happened is when they left with Brenda and Sydney, somebody went with them or followed them to the hospital.
Yeah, they'd have been separate transport.
That's usually what happens.
Okay.
That's the protocol what happens.
As the investigation unfolded, suspicion began to fall on her husband, Josh Powell, whose behavior raised serious concerns. West Valley City Police Det. Ellis Maxwell, who led the investigation into Susan Powell's disappearance, said that when investigators arrived at the house, there were no signs of a disturbance or physical altercations.
Mom and Dad are going
Brenda's mom and stepdad are going. Here's Brenda's mom. Hello? I'm at the police station. I don't. Nope. Yeah. Why is that? They said they're not at Akron City. Brenda's mom said they haven't processed her yet. Where would she be?
I think what city.
Yeah, I heard Sid they were going to Akron General. Dave came back.
At the bank in which she'd worked, inside a safe deposit box that belonged to her, investigators discovered a handwritten will and testament. In the will, Susan Powell had written about how bad her marriage had become and that Josh Powell had taken out a $1 million life insurance policy on her.
I don't know yet. He was supposed to stay for lacrosse practice. Supposed to stay from 3 to 5:30. Yeah, well, he will be okay. And then we'll go from there. All right. Bye-bye. If they haven't gotten there yet, that doesn't seem right.
They got there.
They haven't processed, sorry.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That
In
makes
a
sense.
trauma, I'm assuming what it would be.
They would take them in and start working on it. Paperwork and then the computer comes later.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, the well-being parties getting treated.
Police publicly declared Josh Powell as a person of interest about a week after his wife went missing. However, despite suspicions, Josh Powell was never charged in Susan Powell's disappearance.
So you said it's her mom and dad or her mom?
Her mom and stepdad.
Her stepdad, Bob.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah, Bob.
Yeah. And then your mom's going?
Yeah, my mom's going, and then my brother.
And Dave's going?
Yeah, Dave. And I probably should call somebody else, but I wouldn't know.
Where's Greg at nowadays?
Brunswick. I believe he's just teaching up there in Brunswick. I don't know.
Josh Powell, under intense scrutiny, maintained his innocence, claiming that Susan had simply walked away from her life. However, investigators uncovered a series of disturbing details, including Josh's suspicious activities and his apparent lack of cooperation with the investigation.
No, that's
Dave's still Macron?
yeah.
He's not going to kill him, was he?
Yeah, he's still there.
Is he? I think we went to his house once upon a time.
Yeah, you had a suicide call there. His brother or somebody. Brooke was a baby.
Yeah.
I said, over on, he lives on, what the fuck's the name of his Riverside and, you know, you go around Riverside, Pitkin.
The case took a devastating turn when Josh Powell tragically killed himself and his two young sons in a fiery explosion at their home. This horrific event not only ended the lives of the children but also effectively ended any hope of discovering the truth about Susan's disappearance.
The call came out of suicide. And you got a bear. I remember, those are the details I remember.
Mike. Hey. What do you want to see? Oh, you're fine. It's okay. This is the consent to search here. How do you spell your first name?
Steven.
Move that over. Just gives us.
However, the investigation did not end there. Suspicion soon turned to Josh Powell's father, Steven Powell, who lived in the same neighborhood. Steven, known for his eccentric behavior and unsettling obsession with young girls, became a person of interest.
Who'd you get a call from? Or what happened?
Got a call from him, call from me.
Oh, okay.
He said there was a call, went out, a distress call from the University of Mount Union where my daughter is there, my wife. So I said, well, let me call. So I called Brenda. And it rings and rings on the cell phone, no answer. I call Sydney back, rings and rings and rings, no answer. I call Brenda back, ring, no answer. I'm pacing around. I call Jeep back, and as I'm on the phone with him, telling him there's no answer, my doctor calls me back and said, "Oh, Mom's on the phone with Mount Union." I said, "Well, cops are on the way." And she went, "There's been a break-in," and she just started going off. She said, "What?" She said, "There's been somebody broke into the house. There's blood everywhere." And I'm like, "Stop!" And then that's when I called. I'm sure there was conversations after that, but I'm not going to remember the detail. She was hysterical and crying. I called Jeep back and said, "Yeah, I don't know what I told you. I don't know if I said it was legit or yeah, it's the cops on the way. There's been a break-in, city," and I left. Drove home and saw about it.
So at first, when you talked to her, she said that your wife was on the phone with Mount Union.
Yes.
And
as soon as I said cops are on the way, the hysterics started.
Is she still attending Mount Union?
Well, as far as we knew up until today, yes, but apparently not for the last, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks this was a couple weeks ago. I tried to get on the website I like to check the balance, and she's been coming home on and off on the weekends a little, just odd, little frequently. Never seemed odd for sorts, she acted perfectly normal. But she came back, and I'm like questioning, well, why aren't you at school? Why are you coming home? And, it's all the same, just, the vague non-answers. And so she turned off her Life 360 app. But I think on that app, you can't see where she's going. You can kind of see highlights of where the phone was. Well, I'm kind of looking, I'm like, going, well, you're not where you're supposed to be. This is kind of weird. So I called her on it, and I said, because I went on, so then I tried to go on the Mount Union website, and I figured, I was going to see if there's anything on that. Parents only have so much,
Right.
I'm willing to pay the bill and everything, but if you want to find anything about it, you're out of luck.
Right.
So, but I figured I'm going to try. So I sign on, it says your password or your login or password ID doesn't work. I'm like, well, that's weird. So I recover my password, and I put in the right answer, and it didn't work. And I did that a few times, and I texted her back and said, something's not working. What's wrong? She comes up with something that says the website's down, basically, and but I'm working on it. So a few days passed later. Nothing seems out of the ordinary until maybe it was today, I tried to get back. Well, Mount Union calls me today because I sent them an email that says, my user ID is this, my ID is this, my password's not working, my recovery answer won't work, and I know where I was born, I know my car, and it doesn't, when you type in your recovery email, the system just, it didn't recognize it. So I sent Mount Union Billing an email and says, basically, what's wrong? So she calls me back today and says, well, the reason you can't get on, long story short, is your daughter's unenrolled. So I went, what's going on? So I text Sydney, I'm like, oh, give me a call. I have a question to ask you. I call her, no answer. I say, give me a call, I have a question to ask you. And I look on that little Life 360 app, and her car was at home. I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird. So I leave my phone at home so she can't track me. And I go home, and there she is. She's at home. Perfectly normal. I mean, she's crying because I said, what's going on? Are you not going to school? She goes, I'm overwhelmed in school, and I don't really like what I'm doing, and it seems like it's a waste of my time and your money. I said, well, but that's all part of it. Nobody's going to tell you you need to do what you're doing when you're 20. You need to figure it out, though. But you have to work through the problem. You can't just ignore the problem and have it go away.
I'm sorry, when did you have that conversation?
Today, like 11:30. I don't remember. Yeah, it was. I left work because it was before lunch. It was maybe around 11 because I was probably there from 11 to 11:30. So from her phone call. So that's what I said. My recommendation is call the school back, call the student union, get reinstated. And then if you have to take the summer off, take the summer off. Figure out what you want. She was going to take a summer class because she changed a couple majors. And that's what she was. All my friends have their shit together and I don't. I said, well, I'm 54 and I don't have my shit together. Don't look at it that way. You need to work the problem. You can't just have the problem sit there and ignoring it is not going to do you any good. So I went back. I called my wife from my daughter's phone. She picks up. She was working down at Children's. And she goes, what's wrong? And I basically told her, I said, Sydney, I think the reason we can't get on is because she's unenrolled. She hasn't been going to school. She goes, well, and then we talked to Jill, her boss, and says, I'll see if I can come home. So I left. On the way home, I either on my way back to work or when I'm at work, I call Brenda, and she's like, well, I'm just pulling in now. So I let it go, and then I get a text from Brenda that says, she says something to the effect of she was on the phone waiting for someone from Student Affairs to call me back. And that was at 12:36. She said, how much was the check that they're returning? Because Mount Union told me, too, before, with the phone conversation, we're returning your check. I'm like, well, nobody would return a check. So I texted her back at 12:36, and I said I had no idea. It was electronic. I said, check on the scholarship, too. Make sure she didn't lose that at 12:37. At 12:39, I got on the bank account, and I said, maybe. I go, $5,435. And then at 12:41, what did you discuss with her? And that was it.
So 12:41 was the last.
12:41 was the last, and I don't know how to tell what time I got his call. Recent. It's been 12:54. 12:54 seems like it because then I called, maybe it was a little before that. Maybe it was 12:51. That sounds maybe right.
What did you call it?
So at 12:49 I called and I think it went right. I don't know if it connected or not. I don't know how to do that. 12:51 a call from Jeep. Then at 12:52 I called Brenda. 12:53 I called Sydney. 12:53 I called Brenda. 12:54 I called Jeep and said there's no answer. Maybe you can look at it. So I don't know. So I called Jeep and said there's no answer. Then while I'm on the phone with Jeep, Sydney calls back, and that was that conversation. Hi.
Christy?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Crystal.
Hi.
Victim assistant. How are you?
Okay.
This is Miranda.
Hi. So then that was it. Then after that, then I left once I talked to Sydney, and I hightailed it home.
do anything for you right now?
No, not right now. Not yet. Once I go where I need to be.
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine. That's
Now, how long has she been acting funny about it?
just been a couple weeks. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't remember when she came home that first time, kind of out of the blue, but that was.
She said she was stressed out.
She told me that today. That she was overwhelmed.
Is she on any medication? Or anything?
Nope. No.
Has she ever tried?
I don't know. I didn't think she drank until the first time she drank, and then I think she
How long
realized
was that?
it was last year. It was her
Oh.
freshman year, and I'm sure she does. I'm not going to be,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say she doesn't, but I don't think it was ever a problem. But not an expert in that field.
Has she ever had any psychological problems in the family?
No. She's always been, shy and, reserved, and that was always the problem is, she never says anything. So Brenda said she didn't realize she was having her period until tampons were missing. Excuse my language. So that's just the kind of person that she was. It was all, internalized, and that's why I told her now. I said, well, nobody can help you if you don't tell what the problem is.
Did she say anything else about the break-in or anything like that?
Just hysterics. Said there was a break-in and there's blood everywhere, and I'm like, where's your mother? And she's just nothing.
What is your daughter's phone? Do you know that out there?
I don't,
You're
but this
probably-
does.
Yeah, you're probably like me.
I don't know. I know mine.
I just have the names in there.
I'm not even sure I know how to do this. To be honest. I'm not quite sure how to find it. What do I call it? That's for sure.
That's Sydney.
Yeah.
S-Y-D-N-Y.
Correct.
Do you know your wife's? Were you able to go in the house at all?
I made it in far enough to see the back fit. When you go into the front door, you come around the kitchen, you go in, you can see there's like a pass through between the kitchen and the family room. The back of the house, I could see the right hand, there's two big sliding windows. I could see that window was clearly, it looked like it was busted, and the blinds they looked like they were pushed in. Went down the hallway probably about 2 feet, just enough to see blood all the way down the hallway, and then somebody told me I gotta go. As I was yelling, there was no response from Brenda.
Now, the back door, the sliding door, do you guys use that at all?
No, there's a couch in front of it. We do in the summer, when the couches move, the love seats usually move from the sliding doors here. The couches you moved over into like this area, and we go back out that back door for the patio and stuff.
And that's locked?
Uh-huh.
Do you have like a safety?
There's a lock, and there's a lock on the bottom of it too.
Okay.
And the sliding glass one, there's a lock, but I'm sure the button wasn't.
On the window?
Yeah, the window. There's sliding windows is what was busted open.
Right, that's all.
Okay, yeah, there's the sliding door that we haven't used it since last probably fall. Once we got our Christmas tree on Thanksgiving, we moved the couch out of the way and put the tree in that corner. What happened?
We're not sure. It looks like, I don't think someone broke into the house. don't know if your wife and daughter got into an argument and got physical. I mean, the window was broken, but there's no forced entry into the house. The window's broken, but nobody actually came through that window. And the sliding door was unlocked. So, did your wife and daughter ever have like really heated arguments?
No. No.
So we're here for you, Steve. We're here for anything that happens from here on out, okay?
This is not possible.
So sorry this is happening.
I'm gonna go. Where can I go?
Your son's outside, but he doesn't know anything that's going on.
My son's here?
Yes. We got him from school because in a situation, the way social media is, people, we didn't want him to be at school by himself.
Would you like one of us to just go be with your son?
I don't know. I don't know.
Take your time. You know, there's no rush for anything.
Powell is too stunned to make a decision. It is almost impossible for him to process not only that his wife is dead, but that his daughter may have murdered her.
Are there any other family members you want us to call?
Just her mom's at the hospital.
Okay.
So, they didn't tell. They're not gonna tell her anything.
Who's that, Mom?
Yeah. Will they tell the mama?
I didn't even know she was at the hospital. I know she went, but I wasn't sure where.
What is her mom's name?
Betsy.
Betsy.
Same last, what's the last name?
Brown.
Betsy Brown.
Is there anyone who would pick up your child?
He's
here.
He's here.
I mean, do you want him to stay with you, or?
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Take your
I
time.
don't know what to do.
That's
So
why
we're all
we're
in to
here.
help you.
That's why we're here.
I have nowhere to go. Nothing to do. I can't go home.
How long will it be before he could go home? Because I know there's enough investigation that has to happen?
Probably at least 3 hours.
At least 3 hours.
I don't want to go home. I don't want to go.
No, that's understandable. We have a Bureau of Criminal Investigations coming in to do process the same times.
Can I go to the hospital?
Which
City? Am I allowed to go?
trying to,
I don't know.
who do you want to go see? Your wife?
Yeah.
Okay. They're probably not going to let you see her. I don't know what their protocol is at the hospital. I can always call and see.
Or see my mom is there, or my
Okay.
or her mom.
Yeah, I mean, you go wherever you want to go. We don't have you. You're not in custody. You can go where you want. You do what you want. I probably would not go to stuff, but she's at. I think she might be at city. They took one to Akron General in the city hall. I'm not exactly where.
Oh well, that's my they're at city. I thought Brenda was going to city.
She could have. I'm not sure. I'll find out.
Steve, what we do to help? What do you do?
I don't know what I need. I don't know anything. I know nothing. I don't know where to go with Andrew. I don't know where to go to see Grant. I don't know. I have no idea.
He's here.
Yeah, he's probably wondering why the hell he's here.
Yeah. I wouldn't know where to begin, how to
No idea.
bring him into this conversation, but he's going to need to know.
But yeah,
He's
that's
going
right.
to find out. I don't know if maybe you guys can help him.
How old is your son?
16.
16. Do you think that you might have him to come in here, or you're not sure?
I don't know. I know nothing. I don't know what I want or how I feel or how anybody should feel.
Understandable.
The authorities closely monitored Steven Powell's activities, uncovering a disturbing pattern of voyeurism and other concerning behaviors. The interrogation footage, though chilling, provides a glimpse into the mind of a man grappling with the disappearance of his daughter-in-law and the potential involvement of his own son.
Steve, what do you want to talk to him? You know,
I don't know the way home, my car. I think I need to go to the hospitals to be with them. That's what I wanted to do.
Did you talk to him?
That's okay. I don't know where she is.
The case of Susan Powell remains shrouded in mystery. While Steven Powell was later convicted on unrelated child pornography charges, the fate of his daughter-in-law remains unknown. The interrogation footage, however, provides a crucial piece of the puzzle, offering a disturbing glimpse into the mind of a man caught in the crosshairs of a tragic and baffling investigation.
If you want to speak to your son before you leave,
Oh, yeah.
we can definitely help you with that. Are you going to tell him or do it someone else?
I will tell him. No, no, so. Clearly, they think Sydney did this. I lost two. She's going to jail forever. Wife's dead.
You know, they're gonna do everything they can to make sure that they find out exactly what happened. Nothing's definite as of yet. They still have to do their investigating.
Did he go check to see
Yeah,
Ryan Bell?
he was checking to see the hospital for sure. And then she went to talk to him.
Where's Andrew? Is he just sitting out there by himself, or is he with? Well, yeah, I don't want anybody in here with me when I talk to him. That's he is. I don't want anybody. I just want me and him. I don't know if that's legal. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't want any of that?
I don't want any of you. No, I just want Andrew.
So you just come and get us
Yeah,
when you're
I
ready,
will.
okay? You're outside the door.
They don't know. They haven't told me. They're investigating.
So it's both in the hospital?
Yes. Your mom, I think, is in Akron City. And City has a general baby. He interviewed me, that detective interviewed me. I said no. It's not correct.
Run this?
Yes. Yeah, right now I wonder where mine is. Because that's, I want to go to City because that's where I think I sent everybody.
Brenda's in James.
I didn't even know where.
Who you?
I was gonna call Brenda's mom and tell her to go to
What do you
Akron.
want to do?
I want to go. I don't know what should I do. I don't know. I don't know.
This case serves as a chilling reminder of the complexities of human relationships and the devastating impact of violence on families. Like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime content. Share this video to raise awareness about domestic violence and the importance of protecting vulnerable individuals. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.